So, all right, guys. So if you like what you heard, click that subscribe button below and click that little bell to get notified every single time I upload a video.
Hello.
Erasmo.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How's everything going on your end of the valley?
It's different from what it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. So we're already actually recording, so we can go straight into it if you're good with that.
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So on the line, I have Erasmo Castro, and he's been covering pretty much what I'm doing on this side of the valley. He's doing it on the Brownsville side, but you're going deep into a bunch of different stuff, and that's what I love about the internet, because it's literally shrunk the world, and you can get your message out to a ton of different people. And I don't think people really understand this yet. So I kind of want you to introduce yourself, and then we can go from there.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, Josh. My name is Erasmo Castro, and as Josh mentioned, I do what for Brownsville and for the cities in our surrounding area, what Josh does up there. And I think if you want to classify what we do, we are informants of the community. At times, the voice of the community. I do my best to stay in touch with different folks who at times feel that they have no one else to reach out to. So I appreciate what every individual in their community is doing to keep their constituents, their fellow community members informed. So thank you, Joshua, for everything you're doing up there for that area.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for your side. I wanted to touch on what's going on in Brownsville, because obviously over here on this side, there's a bunch of different stuff that are going on. Hidalgo County, there's a bunch of different things that nobody really knows, and nobody knows who to go to for correct information. And I can assume it's like that on that side of town as well.
Well, one of the things that I think a lot of our elected leaders they're falling short on is having the means to actually inform individuals of what is truly going on. And a lot of it, a lot of individuals in the past, they would depend on the newspaper and on TV stations. And and we are not necessarily in those times, but you find a greater audience, or you could reach more individuals through social media. And I feel that a lot of the elected officials, a lot of the politicos out there, they're behind the game. They're playing catch up, and I think the reason that happens is because they are so set in their old ways in their system, and a lot of the younger generation who is becoming a little bit more vocal in regards to what's happening in the community, was they want to get their information from Facebook, from Twitter, Instagram, from Snapchat, and again, our elected officials playing catch up, and that's where we play a vital part in bringing news and information to the community.
You're absolutely right. I think I had a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day, and he said this is probably a blessing in disguise, because it's going to force people to use technology and really understand how important social media is, not only for business, but to be able to get information out fast.
Exactly. Well, one of the things that we are experiencing, and I know that it's a little bit more prevalent up there in the northern part of the valley, is that our schools are closing down, are shutting down, and we're starting to do distant learning. And unfortunately for our part of the woods, our neck of the woods, unfortunately for us, where we are found wanting, we are not prepared to provide services to all of our students and all the individuals who are needing to do this distant learning. A recent article, I think it came out yesterday in the New York Times, came out, and basically it makes mention of that, how poor Brownsville is in regards to having a connective city, a smart city. And again, it's just a lack of preparation and not being prepared for the catastrophes that could come before us. One of the things that a lot of people say, they say, hey, well, who can actually prepare for something like this? Well, you honestly can't. There's just no way. But you have to be prepared with something That way, it'll give you a further ahead starting point than having to start from zero. I mean, instead of starting from zero, we could have been starting from 50 or from 75. So we're just playing catch up, man. And I think that is hurting our community. I know that a lot of the school districts up there in y'all's area, like Edinburgh, Donna, have already announced that they're closed until further notice. Rio Grande City has completely suspended the year. And that is just unheard of, something that no one is experiencing. Here on our side, Brownsville Independent School District seems to be playing catch up to everyone. And it's amazing because we are the largest district south of San Antonio. And our school board, our corrupt school board members and our do-nothing superintendent seems to just be playing it by ear. And we cannot afford elected officials, city, community leaders to be playing it by ear. We need individuals who are going to be proactive, man.
What would be your suggestions to the school districts to continue going forward after this?
Well, one of the things that we have to push, and not only here in Brownsville, but up there in y'all's area as well, we have to become a smart valley. And by I last year we started an initiative here in the city of Brownsville at the school district called Smart City. I was a part of it. What we did, we brought together the different players out there, the big time players. We brought in Spectrum, we brought in Google, we brought in Sprint, and all these individuals were excited for us to take the initiative in regards to making Brownsville a smart city. The problem is the bureaucracy involved in it, and our administration, not only at the school level, but at the city level, they dropped the ball and they didn't continue on for it. If we would have started with a smart city last year, by this year, we would have been prepared. Every city in the valley needs to become a smart city where everything, absolutely anyone, anywhere will have access to the internet.
And what does that look like? Because I know over here in McAllen, they're starting to put up some Wi-Fi stations so people can have some access. But what does that look like on your end?
Well, unfortunately, again, our community always seems to be wanting to play catch up to different other cities here in the valley. And we have, as of yet, started to do that. What McAllen is doing now is what we proposed for the city administration and for the school district leadership to do. And each one of our 53 campuses throughout the city, make them into a hotspot, an area where the band could be distributed to individuals who could not afford, because we are one of the poorest communities. Speaking about the valley, we are one of the poorest communities in the country. Our school district, our city leadership, our state representatives, and our congressional representatives, they need to push this measure forward. We need everyone to be able to have access to the internet, and unfortunately for us, our people are not all well served by it.
What do you think is the most startling thing that you've seen so far in Brownsville?
In Brownsville, I think one of the most disappointing things is how they're not taking this COVID-19 pandemic as serious as they should. I mean, and I know it's happening everywhere, but again, I say Brownsville because, I live here and I monitor my community. And, we've had the long lines at HEB and at Walmart. We have individuals buying up toilet paper, and, it still makes zero sense to us. And one of the things that they've started to implement here is, we started an initiative. I'm not sure if y'all are having it yet, but we are on shelter in place.
Right. Yeah, we just started.
The county judge. The problem is that there are so many loopholes in regards to the individuals that can be on the street who are considered essential. But we're still seeing traffic all over the place. We're still seeing individuals up and about in little groups in different areas. That's one of the issues. The second situation is that our schools are doing this. Our schools are doing this curbside meal programs, and I'm sure that y'all are doing them as well, where the students are still receiving the food. The problem is that the school district is asking the parents to bring their students to a certain campus to pick up the meals for the day. So automatically, we have thousands of people on the road going to the schools to pick up a free meal. Necesítenla o no la necesiten. That is an issue. The third issue that we have that y'all don't have in McAllen, I know they have it in Hidalgo, is that we have a bridge. We have 3 bridges here. And individuals coming in from Mexico, they're waiting in line if they're walking across, and they're all bunched up in one area. Zero social distancing. The only way that we are going to downplay or bring down the COVID-19 numbers is by enforcing a social distancing. But it's no sirve para nada. It's not going to benefit anyone while you have a mass load of people coming across on the bridge. You have hundreds of thousands of individuals picking up free sandwiches and milk at the schools, and hundreds of people out there bunched up at HEB at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to buy up the toilet paper. We are not only placing ourselves in danger, we're placing our community as a whole in danger.
Let me ask you this. So I heard from somebody, and it makes sense because I'm on the fence for both, because I want small businesses to survive, right? But some people are saying, like, by supporting these local restaurants and going out and helping them get curbside, you're actually doing damage. People want people to stay in and not do anything. And what does that mean for small businesses? I mean, do you think small businesses can survive this?
The fact of the matter, honestly, I don't think that the small businesses are going to survive. That's why we're going to desperately depend on federal monies coming in. And there are the stimulus package was just passed by Congress and signed by the president. You know, the small business is going to get a little boost in some respects. But the truth of the matter, even if individuals from mom and pop shops go out there, you know, and open up for service, they're only going to make a fraction of the money that they would usually make if they were open for business in normal times. Again, when I mean about going to go get food products, I'm talking about the school district setting up these curbside meals at the school district where they're distributing the food to the students. I support small business 100%. One of the things that I did last night, you know, I got on my scooter because I run around town in a scooter. I got on my scooter and I went to a small mom and pop juice store here in Brownsville, and I got myself a little salad. I didn't need to, you know, I had food at home, but I wanted to do it in order to support local business. I think we need to continue to support local business as much as is safely possible, but our schools need to stop having curbside meals for students, because all it does, it causes a lot of individuals to group up in one place, and it becomes a traffic hazard as well. Now, one of the arguments that the corrupt school board says here in Brownsville is that, oh, we're feeding the students that wouldn't have a meal if it wasn't for the district. I mean, I don't. It sounds very, very sanctimonious, but again, we as a district, we know who our at-risk students are, and by at-risk students, I mean the individuals that truly need the food products, truly need the free meals. Let's deliver to them, directly deliver to our at-risk students, our at-risk individuals out there. Let's take care of our own. But instead of having individuals at different campuses and thousands of people piled up outside to get a little carton of milk and a little sandwich, makes little sense to some of us here.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a very interesting time that we're living through, and I think we're all trying to navigate it the best we possibly can, since we've never been through anything like this before. But let me ask you this. I had a hospital on, and and I asked them if they thought they were prepared to take on the coronavirus. What are your thoughts? Do you think hospitals are prepared here in the Valley to take on the coronavirus?
No, and I, it's a topic that hits very, very close to home. My sister's a nurse who works at the hospitals. A lot of our loved ones, working at hospitals, and there's absolutely no hospital here in the Valley that is prepared. I know that yesterday they came out. It came out in the monitor. They were making mention of all the rooms they had available, of all the ventilators and all this stuff. It's not going to be enough. We have seen an increase in regards to positive cases here in Brownsville, and I've seen also the number has grown up in Hidalgo County. The only reason that we are learning about this is because we've started testing for COVID-19. Once we do a thorough testing of it, we're going to find out that there are a lot of cases out here. That is why social distancing, stay at home, is so vital and so important, because the truth of the matter is we don't know. Our hospitals are ill prepared. One of the things that we saw this week, and we were a little bit concerned about, is transporting patients from one hospital to another. Here in Brownsville, at our Valley Regional, one of our local hospitals, one of our two local hospitals, we received a patient from FAR who had tested positive. And we're going like, why would you send someone from FAR into Brownsville in order to be housed up at a hospital when McAllen area, the Hidalgo area, has a lot more hospitals than we do. And, and one of the things, and not to diss our hospitals, but most of the individuals tend to believe that y'all's hospitals are a little bit, I'm going to get in trouble with this, a little bit better than ours. Why is it that we're importing individuals that are testing positive and placing our staff, our community members at risk? And now the transport can't be good for anyone as well. It just makes no sense. How it was explained to me was that because they all fall under the same system of administration, that Brownsville was going to take care of the adults, and the McAllen area was going to take care of the pediatrics, the younger kids. I haven't confirmed that, but again, if that is the case, then Brownsville hospitals will soon be overwhelmed, because there are more individuals that are testing positive for COVID-19 than children. And again, one of the misconceptions out there, we have to understand, people need to understand, that it's not only a disease or a danger for the elderly. School-aged children are now testing positive. We had our first case up in Williamson County where a 4-year-old, an elementary student, tested positive. So it is going to affect everyone.
What do you tell the people that keep comparing this to the flu? Like, oh, the flu kills this many people a year and the coronavirus is not there yet. What do you say about that?
Again, I think it is a very weak argument. And I understand that a lot of individuals wanted to believe that it's just hype and that it is all politically motivated. But it isn't. This is something that has never been seen in the history of mankind. It is something completely new. And I've heard a lot of other individuals compare it to different plagues and deaths and other things that have hit recently and in our history. But again, this is something that has caught the medical community by total surprise, and the scientists are scrambling to figure out how to address it. Now, we all need to realize we live in the age of the utmost technological advances. We live in an era, in a time where science has taken leaps and bounds, and still our scientists, our medical professionals, they're all scrambling. And if they're scrambling, we need to be concerned. Now, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I truly believe that there is a lot that we have not been informed of. There's a reason why there's a reason why we've gone into these, we've taken these measures that are unprecedented. And again, the reason why I think the government has not shared a lot of the information is to not cause further panic. But panic is here.
Yeah. It's very interesting times. I think right now, since 9 hours ago, according to Business Insider, we've had 615,519 confirmed cases around the world and 28,655 deaths. It's going to be a real thing when these people really understand that if their family member or their friend gets this, then it becomes real to them. And it doesn't matter if it's the flu or any other disease, it's going to take the life or possibly take the life of a loved one.
It's very disheartening. Yesterday, last night, again, we here in Cameron County, we're up to 17 confirmed positive cases. 17. Last night, it's kind of a weird deal. I sort of appreciate individuals that are doing this, as weird as this may sound, but individuals are starting to post live videos of what they're going through, what they're after being tested positive. I know that the individual that was transported to Valley Regional here in Brownsville that came from far, he was out there, posting videos of his experience at the hospital. And again, that is it may sound creepy to a lot, but I tend to appreciate it because it makes it so that individuals start to pay attention, and people need to start to pay attention. I mean, it's hitting already.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was watching some posts and I was following them on Facebook, and people were bashing the people that were getting the coronavirus and telling them crap. And then the next minute later, they were praising them for sharing their stories. It's very interesting because everybody has a platform that they can share their thoughts. But I think at this moment in time, we need to be a little bit more open and a little bit more aware of what's going on and what's going on around the Rio Grande Valley, especially because we are a community. We've always been a community of really close people. And I believe that we can get through this if we all work together.
We have to work together. So, one of the things that, and again, I hope that, and before I say what I'm going to say, I will commend our mayor, Mayor Trey Mendez. He has done a phenomenal job in regards to attempting to keep our community informed. I also praise our county judge, Eddie Trevino. I mean, he has done also a phenomenal job in regards to keeping residents of Cameron County informed. With that said, there needs to be better communication between all entities. I mean, we have our county judge saying one thing and starting a shelter-in-place initiative. Then we have the city coming out with their understanding of it, and then there's a tad bit of confusion. And I'll give you an example. One of the things that we were requesting from our school district is stop asking for the children to be in the vehicle when y'all are going to be doing that curbside food program where they're giving away the food. Please let the children stay at home. Let the parents pick up the food products. Well, the superintendent refuses. The superintendent here in Brownsville and the corrupt school board, they refuse to give out food to parents unless the child is in the car. Now, the governor has already said the children do not need to be in the car for individuals to receive the food products. But the superintendent is terco. The county judge, Eddie Trevino, goes out there yesterday and has a press conference and again reaffirms what we've already shared with the community. Children don't need to be. Even so, still, the district won't budge and will not give food away to the parents unless the child is placed in harm's way and is in the vehicle. It makes zero sense. We need our local leaders here in Brownsville, in Cameron County, to have constant open communication amongst themselves. We need the same for y'all's area, Hidalgo, and then we need y'all's leadership to be able to continuously have that open communication with the Cameron County, with Willacy County. We'll start with all of us in this area because, as you say, bro, we're all in this together.
What do you think it is? Do you just think that they're overwhelmed?
I think that they're ill prepared. Unfortunately, again, going back into being very comfortable with the political system here in Brownsville, and again, I hear it's the same up there in Hidalgo. I'm not sure. Here in Brownsville, there is a corrupt political machine, and the corrupt in Cameron County, the corrupt political machine, they tend to want to have the people ill-informed. And by that, they're happy that we only get 9%, 10% voter turnout come elections because they get their little base, their little people to continuously vote them into office despite the horrible job that they've done. And then we have one little politico going to another section, to another position, and all we have is un círculo vicioso, a vicious cycle of regurgitated and recycled politicos. We need to put an end to the political system. They are ill prepared. They don't want things to change. And because they don't want things to change, they continue to keep our community in the dark ages. We need smart city initiatives. We need to have more individuals informed of what's going on. We need to up the numbers of our electorate. And the only way that we can do it, Josh, is that if we continue to use the power of social media to reach a greater number of individuals. So what you do up there is of utmost importance and a necessity for the people up there in Hidalgo.
I appreciate that, man. Well, Erasmo, I'd like to thank you for coming on the podcast. If you can give us any other insight that you've seen on your end, please do so now.
I do appreciate you. And again, what you do for the community, and as corny or as cheesy as it may sound, what you do for the community matters, and it saves lives, bro, especially in these times. So keep on doing what you're doing and place yourself out there. I know that the people out there in Hidalgo County appreciate it. And whatever y'all need, y'all let us know. And I'm glad that we have that open lines of communication. In case we need something, we'll surely reach out to you, my man.
Definitely. Hey, I appreciate your time, man.
Hey, God bless.
I'll talk to you soon. So, all right, guys. So if you like what you heard, click that subscribe button below and click that little bell to get notified every single time I upload a video. I mean, it's very weird times right now, but we're trying to get out as much information as we can, as much accurate information as we can. So we're doing our best with what we have and with the technology we have. And I think right now, if you have a voice and you have something credible and something accurate to put out, you should be putting it out. So happy Saturday.